Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Xin chào, mong khỏe không? Tôi tên là Siraj. So I've not learned much Vietnamese in my time over in Vietnam. Only a few phrases to make things easier for myself. But that being said, now I'm back in Scotland. But just gonna answer a few of the probably most common questions that I received as a language learner when I was in Vietnam. So, I would go to Hon Kiem Lake, which is one of my favorite places in Vietnam, in Hanoi in particular. So, I would always see the people practicing English around the lake. That made me very happy to see that there was so much excitement about learning languages, in particular English. So, I've had many conversations with people who are practicing their English, and one of the questions people always asked me was, how did I practice once they learned that I was a language learner myself, having learned more than one language to a degree where I can use it, to varying degrees, from very basic, for example, my German, to Spanish, which I'm a lot more comfortable in. So they would ask me all the time, what do you do to learn languages? And so the first thing I would do is, of course, get a notebook, and I would write down in English the things that were most relevant for me to learn. Very basic phrases, about myself, my family, how many people are in my family, stuff like that. I'm learning Vietnamese, for example, or I'm learning German. And, why are you learning German? I write that down in English, and I would learn how to say all of these different things in the target language. So I learn how to say these things in German. I learn how to say these things in Spanish and things like that. And then I'll practice those with people immediately, as soon as I can. And I'll practice as often as I can. And then also, I told them, one of the things I do is something that a lot of people here already do. Practice with people out in the street. Practice with tourists and things like that out in the street. So, yeah, it was really nice to see people out there with such enthusiasm for language learning. So another question that I would get, instead of how I would practice, is related to how I practice. People always ask, how can I be more interesting? How can I be more interesting? How can I have a more natural conversation? How can I not seem like I'm bothering people or disturbing the foreigners or the tourists? How can I just have a more relaxed, more natural conversation? So, well, if you want to practice often, you're gonna have to talk to many people. But how to have a natural conversation, I would say, don't go in the city with the intention of practicing. Maybe go with the intention of being a tourist yourself, or go with the intention of going out into the city and just having a good day, enjoying time with your friends, go in for coffee, go in for something to eat, or go in to take pictures, around the city. So you have to be like a foreigner. You have to be like a tourist, so you can approach them more naturally. It's easier to have a conversation with someone you have a common interest with. So, go out into the city and just be normal. Act as you normally would if you were gonna enjoy a day out in the city. And when you see English speakers and they're taking pictures of things, or you may be playing a game with your friends out in the street, for example, they have that thing with the feather that they kick back and forth. Some people skateboard out around the lake. Some people are just enjoying a meal with their friends. If you see a tourist enjoying a meal at the same place as you can go to the places where the tourists commonly go to try some of the local food. You know, you might start by just, you know, saying, "Oh, hey, how are you? Where are you guys from? You know, what do you think about the food here? You know, or oh, hey, tell me, is this similar to something in your country? Tell me about the food where you're from." You know, and then you build around that, and then you know, you might try to find people with common hobbies with yourself, even people with common interest in music or television shows. So you know, you could ask the person about music. Music, everybody loves music. And you know, ask the person about popular Western TV shows. Like, oh, have you heard of Game of Thrones? A lot of people watch Game of Thrones. Somebody might be like, oh yes, I do. Oh, what do you think about Game of Thrones? You know, and just talk about the TV shows. Tell them about your favorite characters. Tell them about your predictions for the show. It's just little things. For example, there's so many things you can do, but this is just things that that I do when I practice with foreigners when I'm learning my languages at home. Another thing you can do if you don't have as much time to be out in this city, look into a language exchange app. There are quite a few out there. I think there are a few more, but the main one that I use that's the most easy to use and user friendly is HelloTalk. I'm not going to go into too much details of HelloTalk because there's many videos on the internet for it, but you should look it up. If you don't have time to be out in the city and practice with foreigners, or if you're not as brave yet, you're still a little shy, and you just want to do something more relaxed, like practice at home with an app, you know, look into HelloTalk. I think it'll be a big help to you. Even the free account, you can enjoy quite a bit of the features with the free account and learn quite successfully or practice quite successfully your English. But anyway, I'll hopefully be posting a video on HelloTalk and what the things that I do to use it soon in the near future. But guys, thanks for watching and hope you learned something. See you soon.